What is Excel used for? Let's start with the first question. No matter how long you've been using Excel, now this question has always occurred to you. What is Excel all about and what is it used for? Now, Excel is described as a spreadsheet package, and that's what it is. But it's a lot more than that. Now, in this Excel that we're looking at right now, we are seeing a small worksheet, maybe a small business just getting started. Now, we are tracking sales, expenses, profits, and YTD profits here. Now, we might be dealing with the larger budget projections, what's going to happen a few years from now. We are looking at Jan, Feb, March, and then entire year budget projections here. Now, every cell is dependent on every cell. We are tracking sales, expenses, shipping, goods, freight, and other expenses. Now, it can be very complex. It can be much more involved. Now, on the other hand, Excel is often used to maintain a list of database. Now, this may be your customer database, this might be your employees database, any kind of list management that you want to do. Now, we got a few hundred rows here, around 600 of them. We got their phone numbers, street address, and their home address, state, and PIN code. And just a friendly reminder, these are all random generated names and numbers. I'm sure I didn't put yours in there. Now, on the other hand, Excel is often used to maintain a large list of data. Maybe this is our data for our employees that we want to track. Any kind of list management that you might want to do with this, for example, sort the data, filter the data. Now, Excel has a very rich set of data management tools available at your disposal. Now, sometimes for some people, numbers do not make any sense until they see a chart. Now, this is a default clustered column chart representing data to the left of it. Here we have the pie chart representing data to the top of it. Now, it's very easy to create charts in Excel. We have a column chart, we have a pie chart. Excel also has a great feature called pivot table. Now, we got row after data. We got around 600 rows of data about different people, different employees selling their products, different products to different regions, to different customers on different dates at different price. How do we make sense of it? A pivot table, let's analyze it. The pivot table over here can show some good solid analysis of what's going on. That's about a few hundred rows here. Here is the big picture. Here is an eagle eye view. And pivot table does not contain any formulas. Without formulas, it works. Also built into Excel, rich set of functions here. In the formulas tab, we got financial functions, logical functions, text, date and time function, reference functions, math function, statistical, engineering, cube, information, all kind of capabilities here. And if you start to count one by one, it will take you some time, but I can tell you we got over 450 of them. So all kind of capabilities are available in Excel. And if you think, is that it? We got some additional formatting tools as well as the feature here called Smart Art. We can do specialized titles like we're seeing here, or we can make some organization chart over here. We got more than 200 of these visual tools available to us. Now, Excel in one sense is nothing other than giant grid of rows and columns, but what you do with it varies widely. Using ribbon display options. In the upper right, you would see options related to how we display the tabs and the ribbon. How do we view it? The default view is what we are seeing right now, is called Show Tabs and Commands. And for this course entirely, we'll be using this Show Tabs and Commands. This is a default. This is what we are looking at. We have these commands here on the ribbon and we have these tabs at the top. Now, at certain times, on certain reasons, you might want to hide these tabs or these commands. Maybe you are presenting this data to the management you would like to see more number of rows here. So if you go back here and click on ribbon display options, you click on show tabs, you'll now see only the tabs at the top, and you probably see more number of rows. I get to see around 46 or 47 number of rows here. Now, if you also want to hide these tabs here, we have an option. Let's go back to ribbon display options, click on auto hide ribbon, and we don't see any of the command menu features at all at the top screen. How do we get back? We can click on these ellipses here, and we can see the ribbon here. All the tabs and commands are back. We work on any of this button, click here, and when you click outside, this will also go away. Now I get to see around 50 number of rows. So more number of rows I can see if I want to focus on something very important. How do I bring back that ribbon? At the far right here, these three buttons, three dots here that you see here, is called ellipses. That's what Microsoft called them. Or you can click on it and then double click on any of the tab, or you click on ribbon display options and click on show tabs and commands. In either ways, it will bring back your ribbon. Show tabs or show tabs and commands, whatever you wish. So you have the ability to move this ribbon, entire ribbon, out of your way to see many number of rows here at the bottom here. And I think for most of the users, this home tab is likely to be visible at all the time. And there are certain times when you want to hide those ribbons and the tabs. You can click on the ribbon display options here, and you can simply click on whatever option you want to choose from. And remember, at any time when you slide over any of this button here or hover your mouse on any of this button, these balloon tips that pop up reminds you and explain you what that feature is about, how this is used. If there is any shortcut key, it will also expose that. Or if you want to know more about it, you can simply go back and click on Tell Me More. It will give you more details on that particular feature, how that is being used. It takes you to the help screen. Excel menu system pictured at the top of the screen contains a series of tabs followed by a group of icons. Now if you look closely on the ribbon, you will see those thin lines here. And between those thin lines, you will see those group of icons here. And every group has a name on it. It's a font group, alignment group, number group, styles group. Now we got different buttons here, and it can be very intimidating if you worry about too much of how many there are, and do I have to know this one, that one, and so on. But remember, many of them you won't be using just yet. The most common tab you will be working on is going to be the Home tab. And as you work with Excel, we got various other tabs. Let's take a brief look at a few of them. The Insert tab, we've got options related to pivot tables. We got illustrations here. Some charting options are also here. Draw tab is about drawing some lines and pictures on the screen. Page layout has a lot to do with printing, as you've already guessed. And we have some setup options here for page setup to get it ready for the printing options. Formula tab has a lot to do with formulas here, and a function, which is a shortcut of a formula. The data tab has a lot to do with data management features like sorting and filtering. We have some remove duplicate options here and some analysis options. Review tab is something you won't be using very often for now, but we see some options related to spell check and translate. Smart lookup, by the way, smart lookup is very important if you are in the habit of something that you don't know in Excel and you copy this and paste it on Google to search for its meaning. Well, for now, Excel has Google or the search inbuilt into Excel. So let's say, for example, I don't know the meaning of expenses. I don't have to worry about copying it and going to Google and searching it and searching for the meaning. I can simply click on Smart Lookup. It will search for that word on the internet, and it will give me all the information related to the word expenses here. And we have expenses definitions, we have pictures, we have help related to expenses. So it will search for that thing on the internet, and you see here powered by Bing here. And once we're done, we can simply close it. The View tab has a lot to do with the visual features of the Excel. Now, one of the tab is very different than other tab is called the File tab. Now, if I click on the File tab, instead of handling information on the actual workbook, here what we have the information related to the file management, although print is also here. If I have to go back and print this, I can simply check a preview if I have to print it, how this is going to look like. Let's go back here by pressing the escape key. Now, let me go back to the home tab here. Under every group, we have these tiny arrows pointing towards the bottom right corner. If you click on these tiny arrows, it will take you to these dialog box launchers. And if you click on that, we have Format Cell dialog box launcher. If I go back to alignment and I click on this tiny arrow, it will take me to the alignment group Format Cell dialog box launcher. Now, the benefit is they expose us to different features that we might not be seeing on the home tab. And keep in mind, there are many features in the home tab. We see one in the font group, we see one in the alignment group, in the number group, and in the clipboard group. Do we have on the other tabs as well? On the insert tab, we have only in charts, draw, no, page layout. We have some in page setup, scale to fit, and sheet options. We don't have anything in the formulas tab. In the data tab, we don't have anything. In the review tab, probably nothing. In the view tab, we don't have it. Let's go back to the home tab. We have very limited options here on the menu, and on the home tab we see options related to how we format the data, and on the left side and on the right side we have some sorting and filtering again. Some options related to inserting and deleting are also here. These dialog box launcher takes us to behind the scenes, so as to speak. So Excel menu system, very extensive, lot of commands here, lot of buttons here. Again, you don't need to know all of them, but anytime you hover over your mouse over to any of the button, you'll see a balloon tip and a shortcut. If there is any, it will tell you what that feature is all about. Above the ribbon menu system, here, at the very top, at the left corner of the screen, what we are looking at right now, and I'm underlining this, moving my mouse cursor over there. This is called a quick access toolbar, and it is abbreviated as QAT. Now, initially, there are only 4 buttons in here: autosave, save, undo, and redo. Now, all these buttons are pretty important. Undo and redo are very important. Let's say if you make a mistake, if you do something and you got all the errors on the screen, and you can simply undo that. Not only that action, but a lot of others as well. But we will have discussed that later because we have an entire dedicated chapter on undo and redo. So the idea of a quick access toolbar is that you can add the buttons that you frequently use, or you can remove the buttons that you no longer use. Now I'm going to take a simple example. Maybe you haven't used Excel a lot here, but if you have typed something in the Microsoft Word, you remember whenever you try to save it or close it, it will ask you to do the spelling check. But in Excel, that feature is not much appreciated, not used. People don't use spell check a lot. But it is always a good idea to do spelling check in Excel as well. Now, in order to do the spelling check, all you need to do is go to the review tab. You'll have a spelling check over here and you can use it. Nothing wrong with it. Now, every time you want to go back and review, click on review and do the spelling. And you might say, okay, I have to do this every time. I'm on the home tab. I have to go to review tab and then click on spelling again and again. So is there a way I can bring this button on from the review tab to in front of my eyes? Because whatever is in front of my eyes, I can do it very easily, out of sight, out of mind. So we want to make sure that we have this spelling button, spell check button, visible to us all the time. How do we do that? We right click on this button and then click on Add to Quick Access Toolbar, and you'll see that button right at the top. No matter which Excel file you are using, your Quick Access Toolbar will follow you. So whatever button you added up here will be there in any of the Excel that you'll be using. Now it doesn't matter which tab you're on, your Quick Access Toolbar buttons will always be there. Now if I want to do a spelling check, all I need to do is click on this and it will do a spell check for me. The beauty is you can add the buttons which you use most frequently. And at any time, if you think that you're not going to use this button here, simply right click on it and remove from Quick Access Toolbar. Every button in your ribbon is an eligible candidate of Quick Access Toolbar. Now there are buttons that are not there in the ribbon as well. If you click on this pull down menu, you see here print, preview and print. Maybe how about if I click on print, preview and print here? Maybe I want to print this, or what do I need to do? I need to press Control P or Control F2 in order to see how this is going to look like. Or I go back to the File tab and then click on Print to see how this is going to look like. But if I have this button here, Print, Preview and Print, I simply click on this, it will take me directly to that page, how this is going to print. Now, there are features, like I said, the buttons that are there in the ribbon, and there are buttons that are not in the ribbon. So you click on this pull down and you click on more command. Once you click on more commands, you have popular commands, around 30 of them over here. If you click on this pull down and click on all commands, you have all the buttons that are there in Excel. You can click on any of the buttons, just select any of the button here and simply click on add, and that button will be there for you. Once you can simply click OK, you'll have this button right there. At any time you think that okay, I make a mistake, I need to go back to my original settings, simply go back to more commands, click on reset only Quick Access Toolbar. It will bring it back to where it was, and you will be surprised that it's like a day one when you first used it. Another feature which I think most people will not be using here is called show below the ribbon. Now you have an option to see the Quick Access Toolbar above the ribbon or below the ribbon. And for most people, I think it's important that they see the ribbon, they see the Quick Access Toolbar above the ribbon. And I have seen very rarely anybody using Quick Access Toolbar below the ribbon. The idea here is you get easy access to all these buttons here, but the downside is you get to see lesser number of rows here. How many buttons I can add in Quick Access Toolbar? There is no limit. You can add all the buttons that you have in the Quick Access Toolbar. And I think for most of the people, you would be seeing the Quick Access Toolbar above the ribbon. And of course, you can add the buttons to it, you can remove the buttons to it, and it's very easy to add these buttons, to remove these buttons, and from time to time reassess these buttons here and that are there and optimize them, consider them for your use of Excel. And it's a very viable tool, and the more you work with Excel, the more you find this tool very handy. On the Excel screen, the area just below the ribbon is called the formula bar. Now the formula bar contains information, and it tells you if the active cell contains a number, a text, or a result of a formula. Now if I click on any of the cell here, let's say if I click on cell C3 here, it's a text, and you know that because you see it's written Feb. Now how do I know that this is a text? I can see that in the formula bar. For some, you might see that, okay, in cell C6, 150, this is a number. But if I click on this cell, you see that this is not a number. This is a result of a formula. Now, if I press down, it's not 210. It's a result of a formula. How about this 390 here? Is this a number? Is it a text, or is it a formula? It's a number. Over time, when you start to work on Excel, you would look at the worksheet and you know where are the numbers, where are the formulas. But if you're new to Excel, you might want to know what does the active cell contain, what kind of information it is. Is it a cell? Is it a number? Is it a result of a formula? And you can see that in the formula bar. And it will give you the background information of that particular cell. Now I might see that, okay, this is February here, but if I click on equal and then click on Feb here, and you might say, okay, this is February. But if I click here, you would see that no, this is not a February, this is a result of a formula. How do you know what is running in the background? By looking at the formula bar. As you work with Excel, you will get used to the idea of looking at the formula bar, because if you move the active cell around, it will tell you whether a text cell contains text, a number, or a result of a formula. Now, and it becomes your second nature as you work with Excel to look at the formula bar very occasionally and frequently, in much the same way when you're driving and you look at the rear view mirror to see what's at the back. Similarly, when you work with Excel, you will keep on looking at these formula bar, whether they contain a number or a text or a result of the formula. Now, we have some shortcuts to find out where are the text, where are the numbers, where are the formula. That we will learn that in our next chapter, in the next course, when we do about formulas and when we do the course on formula. But always keep an eye on the formula bar to see whether active cell contains a number or a text or a formula. And it will give you a good sense of what the worksheet is all about. At the bottom of the screen, just below these tabs, which has sheet's name on it, you would see an area below that. And you would see oftenly there is a word ready written on it. If you hover over it, it would say in ready mode. Now, this area is referred to as the status bar. As you work with Excel, maybe at certain time you take certain actions, probably you accidentally clicked on or pressed caps lock key on the keyboard, you would see that nice little indicator here. The caps lock is enabled. I'll turn that off. It will go away. This status bar, not only showing you the caps lock whether it's on or off, can give you more information on what's going on. Here you would see that I have how many sheets on it and which sheet I'm on right now. If I go to another sheet, it will say I'm on sheet number 2, sheet number 3, sheet number 4, and so on. I would also be able to see the statistics of my workbook. If I click on it, it would say how many sheets are there, how many tables are there, how many formulas are there, a lot of other different information, very useful of them, how many charts are there. Also, here's a button here, a shortcut for macros. Now the idea here is you can activate more features on it. And let's go back to this customer database, or let's move on to this employee database here. Let's stick on this sheet here. If I scroll down here, I have around 600 rows of data. And let's say I would like to know the total of the new compensation or the old compensation, or maybe the average of new compensation, or the maximum salary that we are giving, or the minimum salary that we're giving. Instead of worrying about which formula do I use, which one not, you can simply highlight column J. And anytime you select more than 2 cells, you will have all these indicators available to you. You have the total, the sum here, the numerical count, how many numbers are there, how many total cells you have selected that contains any data, anything. Here you will have the information how many cells you have selected that contains only numbers. How many total cells you have selected that contains something, some information is there. What is the average of all the numbers? You would also activate more features like this. Simply right click anywhere on the empty space in the status bar and you can activate minimum and maximum here. And you would see all these boxes, all these names have the text, these checkbox right next to them. So make sure you have activated all of them here. And you'll have now the minimum number in this series and the maximum number also. I can have both these numbers here. Now it is showing me these 6 important valuable information over here. And you can activate them by right clicking anywhere on the empty space in the status bar. Anytime you select any 2 cells which has number in it, you'll have all this information available to you without any formulas. I've not used any formula, but still I have 6 important valuable informations right next to me. Now, if you select all the numbers here, what would it give me? It will only give me the count. Anytime you select 2 or more cells, one of them contains number, you'll have that information available to you. How about this one? Of course, the years and only one cell contains number here. To the right of it, we have this normal view. It's the view of the Excel worksheet that we're looking at. Here we have the page layout. If I click on that, I would be able to see how this is going to look like if I have to print it on a piece of paper. And I can simply add the headers or remove it. We'll learn more about it perhaps later. The third view is the page break preview, and you can set your page margins on that, what items to include, what items to exclude. The gray portion is of course excluded from the printing, and I can increase the print area and decrease the print area and exclude items for the printing as well. Forward to the right, let's go back to the normal view. To the right, we have this zoom slider, which will help us to zoom in or zoom out. Anytime you click on this plus button, it will increase the percentage by 10%. Or you can simply click on this percentage and set whatever value you want to set. How about 200%? That too much? Let's go back to about 100%. We are back to where it was. So you can set in the zoom in and zoom out. It will increase the percentage by 10%. Now status bar is very, very useful. Gives us variety of information. Remember, you can activate all these features here by simply right clicking anywhere on the empty space in the status bar, and make sure they have a tick right next to them. The Excel menu system that you're looking at is very extensive. There are so many commands here, not only on the home tab, but on the insert tab, draw tab, page layout, and a lot of other tabs. So let's say you're trying to figure out, you want to do something, but you're not sure what to do or how to do it. And let's say you're relatively new with Excel. You want to highlight these profits or these year-to-date profits, maybe by inserting an empty row between profits and YTD profits here. You want to do something here, but you're not sure how to do it. We are on row number 7. Let's select row number 7 here. And you want to insert a row here. And you see that insert tab at the very top here. You may think that, okay, I will go here. And you have insert here. You have column, but you don't have anything related to a row here because you want to insert a row. Now, not a foolproof method, but a very handy command is called a right-click mouse button. Now, at any time when you're stuck somewhere in Excel, simply right-click on that, and it will give you contextual options related to that field only. Now, I've highlighted row number 7. I don't know what to do. Maybe I want to insert a row, so I right click. Now, as soon as you right click, it will give you more options on that. Not only that, it will activate the mini home tab, or called as a mini toolbar. Now you'll see here, most of these buttons are related to the home tab. And for some reasons, the home tab isn't visible. So you right click on it, it will activate the more options on that and also activate the mini toolbar. Now maybe I would like to color this row. I can simply use a fill bucket here, or change the font color, or put a border around it. I can do either one of it. And luckily I'm not on the home tab either. Now I would say I want to insert a row here. I have insert at the top. I also have insert here. Now it's not saying what it is going to do, but we are very much sure that it is going to insert a row because it is a contextual option. If I click outside and I select a couple of column cells here, and I right click, now I have a larger menu here, and it's again says insert with 3 dots on it. Anytime you see any button, any word which has 3 dots on it, it means there is something more to come. Now it is also going to insert, but what is it going to insert? It will have next command on that. It will have more information on that. Now at any point, it is not even saying that it is going to insert a row. If I select a column here, I right click, it says insert. Now you know that if I click on insert, it's going to insert a column. But does it say so? No, it doesn't say so. If I come out of it and right click on the Sheets tab, it again has insert. Is it going to insert a row, column? What? You know that it's going to insert a sheet or will give us more option on that. I have insert tab here. I don't know what to do. And later I have decided here, or later I have learned here, that if I go to the home tab, I've got insert here. Now we got too many options here. Same word with different meanings at different locations will do different commands. Now, depending upon where you are on Excel, simply right click and it will give you not only activate the mini toolbar or the mini home tab, it will also give you the contextual options related to that particular field. And if you know, if I right click here and I click on insert, it's going to insert a row. And same goes with delete. If I right click here on row number 7, click on delete, it's going to delete that row. It's not going to even ask me. But if I select here a couple of cells and I right click and click on insert or delete, it's going to ask me, what do you want to do? Shift cells right, down, entire row, entire column, and you can be confident and you can select whatever options makes you happy. So again, shortcut menus, right click. If you're stuck somewhere, you don't know what to do, simply right click. It gives you contextual menu, contextual feature, and it will also activate the mini toolbar. Anytime we use the right mouse button, you'll see that menu. Excel has a built-in help that is very extensive and is available to us in variety of different ways. Now, if you simply hover your mouse over any of the button, not only it will give you a brief description of that button is all about, also if you would like to know what more about that button, you can simply click on Tell Me More, and it will open a help page, help navigation pane over to the right, and it will tell you more about that button, how that feature is used, or what that button is all about. And sometimes it gives you a nice brief description or a video as well to watch. Let's say if you hover your mouse over B, it will also give you the shortcut if available. Also, it will tell you brief description of what that button is all about. And let's say if I hover my mouse over conditional formatting, we don't need to click anywhere. Just move your mouse over it, keep it there. It will tell you easily spot trends and patterns in your data using bar colors and icons to visually highlight important values. What does it mean? Tell me more. Now, when you click on Tell Me More, it opens a help page, and sometimes, if you're lucky, you also get to see the video, a nice video it will show you and explaining about how that feature is currently used. And it will give you a brief description, and you can always scroll down, go through that, read it, and also read this article in browser. If you click on that, it will open a browser for that particular feature. You can go and take a look at that, how that feature is used. Maybe you would like to print it, or maybe you'd like to bookmark it or keep it in your records for future use. Let's close this one. Let me close this one as well. Now every button is there, and if you hover your mouse over it, it will show you. Let's check out some more features here. Insert. Okay, how about these spark lines here? How about this one? It says spark lines are mini charts placed in a single cell, and each representing a row or a data in your selection. How about these in the data tab? We have flash fill over here, automatically fill in values here, and enter a couple of example you want output to keep the active cell in the column you want filled in. We have these buttons here. You hover your mouse over it and it will tell you about that feature. Now, if you go back to the home tab, let's take a look at it. We have find and select here. Let's over it. It says find, it says Control F, replace, Control H. So it will give you a shortcut of that particular button as well. In case if you would like to go for and search for any specific feature, you can always activate the search by pressing Alt Q on the keyboard or simply clicking on the search button here. We can click on the search and it will type in some feature here that we want to look for. Let's say waterfall. So if I click on waterfall, it will tell us about the chart that we want to add, or if we would like to search for any waterfall from Microsoft, or we can search for waterfall and it will do a smart search. Maybe it will give us some images of waterfall. Let's say I click on these media and we got to see some waterfall pictures here as well. So not only does it search on the Excel file and the workbook, and it also searches on the entire internet, and it is very extensive. So Excel help is available to you at any point of time. Simply, you can simply go to the search box, type it what you know, what you want to know, and you can search for that information by just simply typing some of the keywords or all of the words. Excel help. The shortcut is Alt Q.